Hello friends, this is NodeChat application tutorial series with MongoDB database. And in this part, we will create one search box for search new user to send chat request. And then after, we will write font end code for send search request. In previous part, we have completed working on user profile page. Now we have proceed for make chat application. And under this application, first we want to make search box for search new user. So here, in chat.html file, and here we want to create one search text box. So here, we have to write input type is equal to text, with name attribute is equal to search user. After this, here, we have to write on input attribute is equal to search user function, with this as argument. So when we have typed something under this text box, then this search user function will be called. Now below this text box, we have create one division tag, with id attribute is equal to search people area. So in this tag, we will display user search result data with accept button. Now we have goes to JavaScript code part, and here, we have to create asynchronous function with name search user, with element variable as argument. Under this function, first we have to write search query variable is equal to element.value. So here, we have store search query under this local variable. After this, we have to write id variable is equal to user data.id. So here, we have store login user id data under this id variable. Next, we have create one HTML variable with blank value. So under this variable, we will store user search data in HTML format. After this, we have to write if statement, and under condition, we have to write search query variable.length value is greater than 2. If this condition falls, then it will execute else block of code. And here, we have to write HTML variable is equal to string tag, with class is equal to text gray dark. And here, we have to write message like no user found, so this message will be displayed on web page. But suppose above condition true, then it will execute if block of code, and here, we have to write check data variable is equal to open and close bracket, and between this, we have to write search query variable and id variable. Next we want to send search data request to server, so here, we have to write constant response variable is equal to await keyword, with fetch method, with 2 parameter. In first parameter, we have to write /search user routes name, and in second parameter, we have to define fetch API option. In first option, we have to write method as key, and in value, we have to write post, so it will use post method for send request. In second option, we have to write headers, and here in value, we have set content type to JSON data. In third option, we have to write body as key, and in value, we have to write JSON stringify function. And under function, we have to write check data variable, so it will convert data into JSON format and send to server. Now we want to pass the server response, so here we have to write constant data variable is equal to await keyword with response.json function, so it will pass server response. Now we want to check server data, so here, we have to write if statement, and under condition, we have to write data.length value is greater than 0, if this condition falls, then it will execute else block of code. And here, we have to write HTML variable is equal to string tag, with class is equal to text gray dark, and in message, we have to write no user found, so it will display this message on web page, when no user found. But suppose above condition true, then it will execute if block of code, and here, we have to write for loop, and under condition, we have to write count variable is equal to 0. Count variable value is less than the value of data.length, and count variable value is increment by 1. Now under this loop, we have to write HTML variable, and under this variable, we have to append this code. And under this, first we want to display user profile image, so here we have to create one image tag with source attribute is equal to uploads directory / data with count index.image variable, so it will display user profile image. After this, we want to display user first name and last name data, so here we have to write data with count index.first name, so it will display user first name on web page. After this, for display last name, so here, we have to write data with count index.last name. After this, for create connect button, so here we have to write button tag with type is equal to button. Class is equal to button, button primary and button small class, and in button text, we have to write connect, so it will create connect button for send search request. So on every loop, it will store user data under this variable in HTML format. Now we want to display this data under search people area. So here, we have create one search people area variable is equal to document.getElementById method, and under this, we have to write division tag ID like search people area. And here, we have to write search people area variable.inner HTML variable is equal to HTML. So it will display search user data under this area on web page. So here, our function is ready. Now we have goes to server file, and here, we have to create search user routes. So here, we have to write app.post method with two parameter. In first parameter, we have to write /search user, and in second parameter, we have to write asynchronous callback function with request and response variable. Under this function, we have create one user data variable with blank array. And after this, for handle error, we have use try and catch block. Now in try block, we have to write response.status function with 200 status code. And after this, we have to write JSON function with user data variable, so it will send response to client. And in catch block, we have to write response.status function with 500 status code. And after this, we have to write JSON function with error as key, and in value, we have to write internal server error. So it will send error data to client. So now, we have to check output in the browser. So here, in terminal window, and here we have to run command like node server.js, which will start node development server. So friends, here on web page, we can see that user is login in chat application. And here, we can see that search box has been appear on web page, and this text box, we will use for search user. Now we want to check, this search text box is working or not, so here, we have open, and inspect element. And here, we have typed something in text box, and after type in text box. Here in network tab, we can see that, response has been received from server. So in this part, we have make client side code for send, search user request to server. In next part, we will write, server side code for, search user data from MongoDB database, so we will be meet in next part.